Welcome back to this. Oh, sorry. I was like, what in the world is that crawling on?
Oh my God.
And we're leaving this in, folks.
We're just not editing it because that's how we roll.
Welcome back to the Smart Tank Revolution, where we always kick out at two. We are your hosts, finally reunited for WWE SummerSlam 2022. I am the benevolent, intelligent, extravagant, and all that in between, Mr. Donnie Wonderful, a.k.a. Big Time Donnie, with the taunting
Tribal Chief once again triumphantly returning.
Wearing his head of the table
That's right.
t-shirt today. That is Mr. Joey Business. Mm-hmm. And Joey, you look really happy today.
I am, but we'll get to that. I'm mostly happy because we're reunited, and it feels so good.
It feels so good.
Feels so
it's
good.
Understood.
That's right. But besides the happy well wishes, we are here to rate and go over and give our thoughts on WWE SummerSlam 2022.
Yes, using our bipolar rating system.
Absolutely. No other way. The biggest party of the summer. We made it a party. It had a big fight feel. We were eating good at the head of the table, you know? I provided lobster.
Yes,
I provided
a
spread. We had sparkling cider. We had hot sauce. We ate good. We ate like champions.
We definitely did.
So, speaking of champions, that's how the show opened up. Both you and I were a little shocked that the Women's Raw Championship match, Bianca and Becky, started the show. And I thought it was an odd choice, but as it moved on, I mean, it could go either way. We could have flopped this with the first match and the second match.
I was thinking, I know, like, Vince has only been retired for about a week in, maybe about 9 days since he announced his retirement. Mm-hmm. So we were wondering, how long is it going to take before we start seeing the Paul Levesque?
Yeah. How long until we see Triple H's fingerprints on the show in the way that it's tangible? Like the SmackDown after the news broke that he retired, that day it was a SmackDown. So the Friday he retired, a couple hours later they had SmackDown. I watched it just for the hell of it. It was 2 weeks ago. It didn't feel like a Vince McMahon show, and that was the first thing I noticed, so I was cautiously optimistic. This, I heard through the grapevine that Triple H said he wanted to make a very big creative splash at SummerSlam.
Okay.
So I was like, you know, the expectations were running a bit high. But you still, it's WWE, they're formulaic, you're used to certain things, you're conditioned. So I was a little shocked this opened up the show because to me, this is the secondary main event.
Well, yeah, exactly. I know this year that their pay-per-views have been opening up.
Yeah.
Dramatically.
Right.
Hitting the ball out of the park with the first match, and then leaving the rest in between to try to follow that.
Right.
So typically, like especially I believe since starting on day one, there was another backlash where the best match was the first
by
match,
far, yeah,
and then the second best match was the main event,
right?
And then everything in between is just playing catch up.
Exactly, and it's a dangerous way to book sometimes because you start out with the hottest match, the match of the night, and then everyone's chasing that for the rest of the night. So you go from a peak to a valley, and it can work the other way. I get it. You know, you start out the show with high energy, you get the crowd going, they're more invested in what follows, but there has to be a spread. And lately we've just seen hot openers and almost cold endings.
Exactly.
And so
exactly.
I was worried about that happening because Becky and Bianca, I told you, sometimes you just get great dance partners. These two put on magic together every single time they're in the ring.
This is the match we should have got last year.
Agreed.
With Becky's return.
Agreed.
Because this was phenomenal.
This was unbelievable. I think I loved their WrestleMania match. It blew me away. I knew they were great, but I didn't know how they were going to work together. Plus, the year before you had Bianca versus Sasha, which was my benchmark for that whole Mania.
The WrestleMania,
for that year. But Becky and Bianca, this Mania blew Sasha and Bianca out the door for me. It was a better match. This match was even better than their WrestleMania match. And the reason why it was better, I said it to you, the pacing was perfect.
Yeah.
There was no lulls in this match whatsoever. It wasn't all high action, but there was no transition spots where there was people around the ring or anything, like nothing. It was seamless. It was so good.
They're great dance partners.
They are. They're amazing.
They're really great dance partners. And you made a funny comment when Becky was coming to the ring saying that she looks kind of Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. I love Lady Gaga, but yes.
But do you think she'll be able to keep that persona as a babyface? Because I know we haven't gotten to that part yet because we haven't really reviewed the match.
She's gonna have to revert to the man.
Spoiler alert: Becky Lynch is now a babyface again.
Yeah, and the reason why Becky Lynch is a babyface, and this was my worry, because when you have great dance partners like this, and you have two huge money-making personalities, it's tough to decide which one goes over.
Right.
Now, Becky is the veteran. She's been to the mountain. She carried the mountain. She started. Everyone says, the NXT girls started the women's revolution. Yeah, they started it, but Becky's the one who put them on the map and main evented spots. If it wasn't for that man persona, WrestleMania 35 wouldn't have happened, because Ronda didn't even have the star power to push that. So I was worried here because Bianca is in her sophomore title run, and her first run was really good, but they cut it too short with Becky's return.
Right.
And they jobbed her out, which I didn't like. I mean, I popped for it the night it happened because I'm a huge Becky fan, but in retrospect, it really hurt Bianca to the point where I was like, I wonder if she's going to get her heat back. When she re-won the title at WrestleMania, which was the right move, I was like, okay, now they can undo what they did for 6 months and give this girl the run that she deserves so richly. One, she's a thoroughbred. She's a workhorse. Two, she's the perfect representative for the women's division in your country, in your company as an ambassador. She's just all around wholesome and badass and just captivating.
Yes, and the television doesn't do it justice, ladies and gentlemen. Bianca Belair is a beautiful woman.
Yes, it's the only time my co-host has ever become speechless, which I wish I was there. But anyways, that being said, I like to armchair book. We all do. That's what we do. I said they have to have Bianca win this, because if you don't, you're going to cut off her steam. And Becky's already at that level that she can take a few hits and, refresh herself. But you got to separate the two if you can't just have them stay on the same show. So they threw me a curveball that I didn't expect. The match was phenomenal. It ended with a nasty KOD in the middle of the ring. It was the second one, I believe. Clean pinfall, no shenanigans. Boom, Bianca Belair. They did the whole handshake of respect stuff afterwards, which I was just waiting for Becky to turn on her the whole time.
As we all
Of course. During that, you heard Bayley's music go off.
But wait, before you get there,
Oh.
what did you rate it?
Oh, I rated this a 3. This was unbelievable.
Yes, I also rated it a 3 count. Perfect 1, 2, 3. Great match. If you're new to Smart Tank Revolution, our rating scale for these matches go off of pinfall counts.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you'll hear Joey go over a 3.
I give a 4, and that's the worry here. Listen, I could have gave this a 3.5, but I've been more subdued in my rankings because you have convinced me that I shouldn't just be so cavalier and throw out numbers that don't exist in pin counts. So I was like, okay. I gave it a 3. It was a strong 3. Nothing will change my mind. I could even argue it's a 3.5, but I'll keep it a 3.
How about this? How rewatchable do you think it is?
Very rewatchable. I will absolutely rewatch this for sure.
I agree.
So, that being said, after the match, we had Ding Dong, hello, Bayley come back, which I expected. Everyone's been expecting since Mania. She's been cleared. What I didn't expect is her to bring friends with her. And I found this really interesting. So she brought up Dakota Kai, who I've been a big fan of, and the girl is super talented. And she brought up Io Shirai, who is also talented from NXT. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Dakota Kai a rehire? Didn't she just get released a little while ago?
I think so.
Right, so that's a shock too. So they just brought her back. But now Bayley's got this little stable going, which I think suits Bayley. I think it's a good place for her. But then you had, them square off against Bianca in the ring, kind of corner her, and you're like, okay, who's going to come in to help Bianca? I was like, man, watch them do Becky. And all of a sudden, Becky came in, and I was like, oh, it's a Mega Powers here. And then I was waiting for Becky to do the turn on her and all 4 jumper, but it didn't happen. So it looks like you spoiled, we're getting a full-fledged Becky babyface turn, which I'm for. She's been heel long enough, and it's okay. But like you said, will she carry it with this current gimmick? I don't see like the weird fashion choices and over-the-top stuff working as a face.
The fashionable sunglasses, the shades.
Those I think she'll keep. I think she'll keep some stuff, but also Becky's creative. I think we may not just get a return to the man. We might get something in between. So it should be interesting.
Oh, it's going to be another layer.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
She went from the Riverdance girl to the Last Kicker to the man to this. She's not, stagnant in the way she presents herself. So I think she'll be okay.
I can tell you this, and I know this is kind of get way ahead of us because we're only on the first match. I'm actually interested in watching Raw for promos.
Same. For
afterbirths, to see, the aftermath of what we saw here tonight.
Yep. Agreed.
I know I'm curious to hear Bayley and curious to see who she faces first, because I know they're not gonna just throw her in there against Bianca on day one.
No.
So yeah, I'm very interested. I think for the first WWE pay-per-view post Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah. So far it had a hot start.